This interview is brought to you by Verizon. When the Navy and Marine Corps look to securely, effectively modernize their network and voice communications in the continental United States or outside the contiguous United States, Verizon's suite of services, solutions, and contract vehicles are there to help meet mission needs.
Hello everyone, I'm Ross Fortuny, coming from you from sunny San Diego at AFCEA West 2025. And joining me now is Gaurang, Dävé.
Hi, good morning.
Cyber Technology Officer for Marine Corps Systems Command, correct?
Yes.
Thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
The Marines modernization effort. What is the state of it now? What does it look like going forward?
Yeah, no, excellent question. So, Marines modernization started from Force Design 2030 that was published earlier a few years ago, and the recent update was sent last year by the 39th Commandant, CPG, Commandant's Planning Guide, which confirmed that we are going to modernize as it was planned in Force Design 2030. So Force Design 2030, the CPG, Commandant's Planning Guide, highlights some of the areas that we are going to go after, and I'm going to focus on the cyber IT side. So the whole motto, the bottom line there is that our force design is for the individual Marines is the center of the heart in the force design. Everything is designed around the Marine. As you know, in the Marine Corps, the Marine is the warfighter as the lethal weapon for the Marine Corps. The CPG calls out as that we have a speed to need for the delivering capabilities. And my job as a cyber technology officer for the Marine Corps Systems Command, supporting the cybersecurity for all those systems that we deliver,
sure,
that gets delivered faster, better, and secure to the fleet. And some of the areas we can talk about later on, what we are doing there. But our job is to make sure the acquisition is caught up to support the need of capability that is needed in the field.
So how do you do that sort of to put the centerpiece on the warfighter?
Yeah, so as I said, individual Marine is a weapon for the Marines. So it goes with talent management for the Marine Corps to make sure that they have the background, they have the training, and they have the technology to fight through wherever the war that they face in any place, any terrain. So with that, we also make sure that technology that we are providing, they are there. So one of the example is that Marines are stand-in force. So when they see things or something is happening from the adversary perspective, they act like a sensor for the overall battle management. We want to enable that sensing, whatever they are sensing, to provide that to shooter and provide that battle space management picture, having a multiple system, working together, such as satellite, radar system, provide that information back to the higher echelon where they can see the full battleground picture. So they have information from sensor to shooter, and they can make the decision accordingly.
Right.
So that is why the Marine, individual Marines, is important to have that information. Also being trained, how to do all that with using the technology.
Yeah, how do you square that? I mean, getting them onto these technologies when, especially with digital natives, are coming up. Obviously, a lot of young Marines. Their familiarity with technology is different now than it was 5 years ago versus 10 years ago. But the technology itself is different. So how do you sort of square that to make sure that they're trained and ready and everything?
Another great point, right? So as we are modernizing, we also know that how do we answer the deliveries that needed, in the speed capabilities. So the Marines that they need to understand like how some of those things that we can adjust based on the situation. We are trying to compile all that capabilities in a containerized application where they are
sure,
modular. So Marine Corps is actually working with the Army down in Austin, Texas. We have our own software factory.
I was going to say the software factory, yeah, sure.
Absolutely. So Marines actually are coding application.
Okay.
So there are those young Marines coming in with all that great technologies and mindset. They are actually hands-on, working through those applications, getting trained on how they can tweak things, on the fly when things are needed. So we have a software factory down in Austin. There are a couple of things that we are also looking for, and we have certified things called RACE 2.0. RACE stands for Rapid Assess and Incorporate Software Engineering. That is a process actually that allows, there's a certain requirements that you need to have tools that looks for your supply chain risk management, software bill of materials, all kind of great things. And then once you certify that as a software factory to RACE platform of choice, you don't need any ATO on your applications.
Oh, okay.
So we can actually deliver those capabilities without going through the ATO process because it's coming out of that environment. So we're in the process of certifying software factory down in Austin with the RACE 2.0. We additionally certify that the RACE platform of choice to our Marine Corps community services software factory, which does for supporting Marines. We are on that path for how we deliver things faster, better, and without, going through any other additional paperwork. So Marines can get a new technology.
It's something I hear a lot, in these sort of conferences, is the pace of acquisition or implementation can be hard. So it sounds like that's the kind of thing that you're really focusing on. I want to shift to Zero Trust just because I can't talk to people in your line of work without talking about it. So how is it going for your office and Marines, and how does it go hand in hand with modernization?
Yeah, great. Again, good topic there. Zero Trust is a mandate from DoD, and the services has to meet the Zero Trust capabilities by 2027. So Marine Corps has a Zero Trust strategy, and we are all working together from policy to operational force and acquisition side, how we deliver the capabilities. And there are details that are spelled out. You need like 152 some activities that you're supposed to meet. Basically tightening your access, trusting nobody on your network as insider threat, making sure that you are confirming who you are and you have need to know. We're going after the strategy that we have in multiple ways, and we feel that we are making a good progress there because we are also looking into network unifications where having a simple network unification, from garrison to tactical, allows us visibility within the network to see who is, if there's an adversary on our network, we can identify quickly and figure out if there's any malicious activities going on. The other piece is that a lot of industry partners are providing some of the Zero Trust capabilities that are platform-based. So we are looking at data centricity, because if you go from one platform to another platform, we're looking at those gaps. How do you protect the data that is moving between two platforms? Because technically we are getting Zero Trust on platform specifics, right? So we are going after data centricity, as that how we classify data at the different classification level, and that data is available, because data is information, and the information is needed to make the decision across all the warfare domains.
Right.
So we are focusing on data centricity, and we are gaining that through, we have an effort called IMDF, Integrated Mission Data Fabric. That is Marine Corps is going after, where you mash all the data at the different classification level, and you have different encryption and protection level there to support that. So in summary, I want to say that tight access control everywhere we can possibly think of, at the application level, the platform level, but also we're looking at the network, unification perspective, to make sure that we have sensors on our network to see if there's any malicious activities there, so we can address that.
So just to build off that, and then this will be my last question, that monitoring, how can you expand on the import of this sort of continuous monitoring versus things like checklists or mile markers?
Yeah, no, absolutely, right. So this is the earlier I talked about the RACE 2.0 process. It requires a continuous monitoring. So it has a live real-time dashboard with your system's vulnerabilities, where the authorizing official has access, as well as the security control assessor. Mm-hmm. So that in that sense, we are going through this process where you don't have to wait for those scanning and then finding out some information later on, where things are. You have real-time dashboards where you can see things. So we're going after some of those interoperabilities that when we work with a mission partner environment, getting the data in and have a visibilities on our data, in the near real time, so you can see actually vulnerabilities if there's anything comes up. And you can address that based on the vulnerabilities.
Yeah, it goes back to the speed of decision making, certainly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thanks so much for doing this with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right.